In the year of 2023, we as a society are now more than ever exposed to different forms of content creation on a variety of social media platforms. But how does that affect cinema and media landscapes in present times? In recent history, the internet has become a central point of interest for commentary on popular media culture. To make it more specific, I will be looking at the platform of YouTube, which has been around for almost 2 decades. Despite the age of the platform, it is still a prominent site used by creators to share insights, analysis, and critiques on zeitgeist material and obscure forms of media. Content creators have gathered a reputation and influence on media and cinema. This in turn helps us, the audience, to navigate our viewing choices and experiences through these parasocial relationships and transactional experiences. I was lucky enough to interview 3 YouTubers who occupy a small space on the vast landscape of YouTube, filled with an oversaturation of content. All are from different backgrounds and have different followings, providing their perspectives on cinema and media cultures. The first is Albert Perkins from the Weekly Wrap-Up, a smaller channel with 6,000 subscribers.
What I basically try to do is I try to, release video game news as well as entertainment news out to, my viewers as quickly as and efficiently as possible. And then additionally, I like to go ahead and interact with them through different watch parties, countdown streams as well, just trying to, gather more of a bigger fan base and everything, and hopefully, get better engagement as well through those types of videos and everything.
The second is Jonathan Fuji from The Film Drunk, who currently has under 10,000 subscribers.
I wanted something that told the audience that this isn't necessarily like a lot of other film channels, which I know sounds very basic, but something that I hear talking to my friends who are just absolute casual moviegoers is they'll talk about Rotten Tomatoes and the difference of critic scores and audience scores, and people don't know what they're talking about, or they just think that people who like movies are just pretentious people. Essentially, I wanted to kind of do my best to somewhat bridge the gap. So I do talk about film and like awards and everything, but at least I aim to do it in a way that I think is a little bit more entertaining.
Lastly, I interviewed Elliot Roberts, who has a self-titled channel with 90,000 plus subscribers. His channel focuses on music currently from the 60s to the 70s and the art of biopics in cinema.
I create content about, I suppose, film and music. I've made quite a few videos about biopics, music biopics in particular, which is a link to also the Beatles and the other music that I talk about.
Each one of these YouTubers have unique experiences given the content space in which they occupy, contributing or disrupting contemporary cinema and media landscapes. Film criticism has been around since the dawn of cinema itself, with early film reviewers analyzing movies in newspapers and magazines. However, with the advent of the internet, film criticism began to evolve and take on new forms. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, film criticism websites like Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic emerged, aggregating reviews from multiple sources to give audiences a sense of critical consensus. But it wasn't until the rise of YouTube that film criticism truly began to flourish. In the early days of YouTube, film reviews were mostly amateurish and low budget, with creators filming themselves in front of a webcam and offering their thoughts on the latest movies. In his 2015 essay, Andrew McWhirter writes that the uncertainty some film critics feel over what constitutes a video essay may in part be due to the varied trajectories of the previous media that have shaped the form. The most common assertion by critics is that the video essay shares affinity with the essay film. However, as YouTube grew in popularity, so did the sophistication of its content. Creators began experimenting with new formats, from video essays that analyzed the technical and thematic aspects of film to spoiler-free reviews that helped audiences decide whether to see a movie or not.
I would say whenever I go ahead and, I create my content, I kind of gauge and see what the interest is as far as, the type of views I'll get, the type of impressions that I'll get, whenever I release that type of content. And then based on that, I'll go ahead and make more content based around those type of subjects and content as well.
I prefer to create stuff, especially as I've matured into this role, as someone who makes quality videos about a topic, video essays especially. That's what I really like to do. Videos that create a perspective and analysis and that kind of thing. Kind of upping the quality of YouTube, trying to bring it up into a more considered medium and not just, he's just a YouTuber who's just trying to get views and that kind of thing.
From their 2021 essay for the City University of New York, Tien Lang writes that the video generates interpretive conversations about film and resists a closure to that intellectual procedure. It tends to dissect the film and at the same time avoid being didactic, but it is by no means a unified mode of the poetic and the explanatory mode." End quote. In the mid-2000s, prominent YouTubers like Red Letter Media and Every Frame a Painting helped pave the way for the current crop of film critics on the platform. Red Letter Media's scathing critiques of popular movies and Every Frame a Painting's in-depth analysis of cinematography and editing techniques in movies gained them a large following, inspiring others to create similar high-quality content. Today, YouTube is home to a diverse array of film critics and video essayists, with creators like Lindsay Ellis, Jeremy Johns, and Chris Stuckman offering unique perspectives on everything from classic films to latest blockbusters. With millions of subscribers and billions of views, these creators have become a vital force in the world of film criticism, shaping how we watch and understand the stories we love. A big component to YouTube content creators is the parasocial relationship they have with their subscribers. A parasocial relationship is a one-sided bond where an individual forms a sense of closeness and attachment to a public figure, without the other party necessarily being aware of it. In their essay, The Development of Parasocial Relationships on YouTube in 2018, Kate Curtin, Nina O'Brien, Dea Roy, Linda Dam write about the development of parasocial relationships within social media landscapes. They write that YouTube integrates social network features, including subscribing to and commenting on other users' generated content. Individuals may upload videos to their own channels and subscribe to them and comment on them, the channels of others, thereby engaging in person-to-person social interaction. This type of relationship can be particularly strong in the case of YouTube content creators, as the platform allows for more personal connection between the creator and the subscriber through comments, social media, and other forms of engagement. When it comes to cinema and media spectatorship, the impact of parasocial relationships between content creators and subscribers can be significant. For example, a subscriber who has developed a strong parasocial relationship with a particular YouTube film critic may be more likely to seek out the movies that they recommend, even if they may not have been interested in the movies before. This can lead to a greater diversity of films being consumed and a wider appreciation for different genres and styles of filmmaking. Furthermore, a parasocial relationship can also influence how the subscriber perceives and interprets the movies they watch. If a content creator expresses a particular viewpoint or interpretation of a film or TV show, their subscriber may adopt a similar perspective, or at the very least be influenced by it. This can lead to a shared understanding of certain films which can then be further discussed and analyzed within the community of subscribers. However, it's important to note that parasocial relationships can also have a negative consequence. If a content creator expresses a bias or an uneducated opinion, their subscribers may adopt those views, potentially leading to misinterpretations or misunderstandings of the movies or media that they watch. Additionally, if a subscriber develops an overly intense or unhealthy parasocial relationship with a content creator, it can lead to a skewed sense of reality and a lack of critical thinking when it comes to media consumption. In their paper, The Polarizing Effect of Review Bombing from 2021, Venera Tomaselli, Giulio G. Cantoni, and Valeria Mazzeo defined the phenomenon of review bombing as a massive attack by groups of internet users on a website that displays user reviews on products. It gained attention especially on websites that aggregated numerical ratings. The impact of parasocial relationships between YouTube content creators and subscribers on cinema and media spectatorship is complex and multifaceted.
I feel like content creators have such a big voice. It's such a powerful tool. If you think about it, if you are able to, create content based on, different various topics, optimizing it properly within your titles, your description, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I feel like as a YouTuber, I feel like I have somewhat of a responsibility as well.
I don't think I'm certainly in the position or have the following where I influence people. I'd like to think it's definitely more collective. I mean, that's the approach that I certainly like from watching other YouTubers, is when I feel like I have a certain investment or stake between like the creator and the audience for it. So I certainly think so. I kind of respond to what people like in the comments, and I kind of go from there. So I mean, yeah, I don't think I have that kind of influence, honestly.
It's still ultimately a parasocial relationship. Every one of my viewers, even my patrons on Patreon, I don't know who they are, and they don't know me. They know what I put out on YouTube, but they don't know who I am. But as far as influencing goes, I don't know if I'm influencing anyone. Like, I'm sharing my opinion on the films that I enjoy and my perspective on them. I guess in that respect, like, people tell me that, like, oh, I watched a video on this film and it's really, altered my viewpoint about XYZ or whatever. So I suppose that's influencing.
There can be a transactional experience between YouTube content creators and a larger studio, institution, or company, although it is not as direct as the transactional experience between creators and their audiences. In some cases, YouTube content creators may enter into partnerships or collaborations with larger studios or production companies. This can include working with studios to produce sponsored content or integrating branded products into their videos. In addition, some YouTube content creators may be approached by a larger company or studio or networks to develop their content into larger productions. This can provide opportunities for creators to expand their reach and generate additional revenue through traditional distribution channels. However, there can be tension between YouTube content creators and larger companies, particularly when it comes to the issue of creative control and ownership. YouTube content creators are often valued for their unique voices and perspectives and may be hesitant to compromise their creative vision in exchange for financial support or opportunities. Overall, the transactional experience between YouTube content creators and larger companies and studios can involve collaboration, partnerships, opportunities for expansion, but it also has influenced by issues of creative control and ownership. In her paper for the Dominican University of California, Jessica A. Zanata writes that through the history and evolution of YouTube, the business and marketing approaches, and influence in education, YouTube culture has taken over social media and influenced the younger generations as well as the millennials. Companies and organizations are consistently targeting the younger generation through advertisements within social media. There is transactional experiences between YouTube content creators and their audience. YouTube content creators create content and offer it to the audience for free, but in exchange, they receive various benefits. For example, YouTube content creators can monetize their content through ad revenue or sponsorships, which is dependent on the audience engagement with their content, such as views, likes, and comments. In this way, the audience is provided value to the content creator by engaging with their content and helping them generate revenue. In addition to revenue generation, there is also a social exchange between YouTube content creators and their audiences. Viewers can feel a sense of connection to the content creator, and in exchange, content creators often engage with our audience by responding to comments or creating content based on audience feedback. Finally, audiences can support their favorite content creators through merchandise sales, crowdfunding, or other means of direct financial support. This can create a direct transactional experience between the audience and the content creator, where the audience is providing financial support in exchange for content.
Or anything. I really do try to make them events in a way, and I really try to talk from the heart. And you know, when people tell me that they like teared up at a video, like that's really special to me, because I want to move people. I don't just want to, you know, create content. You know, you can see why I have trouble with that term, because it makes it does make it transactional and clinical, especially short form content creation. Like, and I'm guilty of this, you know, like our attention spans are being ruined by this. Like, I've always got to have something just in my ears and in my eyes, just, and it's just, it feels a lot more transactional and a lot more just like, for you know, like next.
You know, what I try to put out as far as an experience goes, you know, I'm just looking for everyone to, you know, have a good time and just, you know, by and large, just get hyped for what I'm talking about at that given time, whether it's a live stream or a long form video. You know, I feel that if I'm able to get that information out there and other people are able to share it, you know, amongst their friends or, you know, amongst their family, you know, maybe they don't know the information that's being spoken upon, but it's something that they're interested in. I like to be able to get that information out there to people that, you know, are necessarily aware of what's happening, depending on that given topic. For myself, I just love being able to do that. I think it's great to be able to break news.
And I'm sure people kind of know what I'm getting at here. I do think that it's a bit of both, I guess, but I would definitely lean more with studios and the content creators, because while I'm not someone who's like kind of now in the know, I'm not someone who's like Disney pays their critics for good reviews. I mean, it's been a little bit weird, and like I'm grateful for it, but it is a little bit weird to like receive a lot of FYC stuff, some of which are like on the ground still.
Yeah.
Because like I get it, but when I tell my friends, they're like, oh, are they like buying your vote? So I don't know if I, at least for me, subscribe that there's something transactional with the creator and the audience per se. But I do think that if you want to make an argument that the studio makes something transactional to the creator, therefore making it a bit more transactional to the audience then as like a chain effect, I can subscribe.
I'll be honest, I've never thought of what I do as disrupting media landscapes. I think about it as a way to be creative, and I can make money from it, and I love that I can make money from it, but I've never thought about disrupting an industry or anything. Maybe.
As explained throughout the video, YouTubers currently strive to achieve higher forms of content creation by creating videos that are more catered towards audiences. Even though studios and larger companies still have transactional experiences with them, content creators are focused on providing a space on the internet for others to engage and discuss the discourse surrounding media as a whole. YouTubers can earn money through transactional exchanges between companies. However, you can say the same for them receiving sponsorships or Patreon subscribers. Content creators do garner an influence and a platform to inform viewers or provide perspective, but none of them strive to disrupt media landscapes. They in fact encourage contribution to the media discourse. Although content creation has made shockwaves within media landscape, it has in no way or shape disrupted it. It rather contributes to it.